am More Than Enough, period podcast. I'm your host, Alicia, and this is the segment where I speak to women and they share their story. Today's special guest, her name is Rochelle. Rochelle, thank you for coming.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I know that you have a story and you're on. Please share. Introduce yourself.
My name is Rochelle Boyd Huff, and I am a nurse, a grief coach, and an insurance agent. And I am here to talk about my adult child, children, rather.
Because I have several topics out there, and you reached out to me for loving your children from a distance.
Yes, yes.
And I know too well of this subject. So please share your story.
Yes, so I have two, well, I have multiple adult children, but the ones that I'm referring to today is my actual oldest son. He is 34, and there has been a period in time when had made up his mind that he wanted to do whatever he felt like doing. He didn't want to abide by any household rules, and I had to make a decision. I have three younger ones that were watching him. And so I had to make a decision. Either I'm going to let him corrupt them or I'm going to have to let him go. And when I say let him go, I continue to pray for him. I continue to love him from a distance, but he couldn't be in my house anymore. When you make a decision that you don't want to follow and obey the rules of the house, you got to go. And I had given him chance after chance. And he still didn't want to comply. So at that point, it was no longer a issue of me loving him. It was a matter of, was I going to love him enough to grow him up and allow God to handle him, or was I going to allow him to corrupt my other group? And so that's where the decision came in to say, hey, you still want to keep doing what you're doing? Okay, baby. I love you and I'm going to pray for you, but I'm going to turn you back over to God cuz that's all I could do.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about what he was doing that made you say, that's it? I got to give it to God because I tried for so many years.
Well, outside of the circle that he was hanging around with, the choices that he was making, he was, smoking, he was drinking, he was going and bothering people's things that he didn't have any business. He wouldn't take his medicine. He deals with mental health problems. And so he had made a decision that he wasn't going to take the medicine. He said he didn't like it. And so at that point, it was like, okay, if you know something is not working for you, that's fine. That they're at one point in time that was an excuse because medicines did make you feel a certain kind of way, but now that everything has advanced, so if that one didn't work for you, okay, go ahead and get another one. But he was refusing to do any of that, and so I had to show tough love, which was really hard for me.
And what age was that?
Well, it started the first time about 18. But then
Okay.
as he was able to come back, and then I would say probably about 20, 21, 22. That was the last straw.
So, and you said he's 30 now?
34.
34.
Uh-huh. And he's still away. But I love him and would do anything for him except live with me.
Right. So you have any contact with him?
Yes, I do have contact with him, and I am we speak to each other as much as I can. I mean, unfortunately, right now he is actually incarcerated. but due to not wanting to stay on that medicine, in his choices. So, but I do talk to him as much as I can within reason. Let me say that,
Mhm.
because when you make choices, one thing I've always told my children, if you make a choice, then you have to live with it and you have to own it. And because it's a crisis for you, doesn't mean it's a crisis for me. And so I don't do jail visits, and I do not accept a whole bunch of expensive phone calls. When we can talk, we talk. I will allow him to, I do talk to him at different periods when some time has been spaced out because I need to make sure he's okay. I need to hear his voice and all of that. But outside of that, it's like I can only do what I can do.
So when you made that decision, you had to put you first and set boundaries.
Yeah.
You A lot of times we make excuses, because it's our child. And we see what they're going through, but and we want to fix it. But how many times are we going to do that? Like you said earlier, the you was telling him about the people he hung out with and to take your meds. What made you think why he didn't take his meds? Like, was it you think it was peer pressure, or did he
I
think
think
that it
so.
didn't work? It's okay.
No, the biggest thing for him, he said he didn't like the way that it made him feel. And
Hmm.
I understand that part of it, but they have a lot of medicines now. So if that one's not working, you go to another one. You go to
Right.
another one. You have insurance. It's not like you don't have insurance, so you can't go to the doctor.
Hmm.
It's you made a decision and then you've listened to people say, oh, medicine, people don't take medicine for mental health. And I'm like, oh, yes, they do. It's just like you have high blood pressure or diabetes or anything else. You take medicine to treat the brain just like you would the other things. Because if the brain is not working properly, the mind is not working properly, guess what? You're gonna keep ending up in the same situations that you've been in. And so he's learning. Hope I'm well, at least I hope he learns that this time.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that need medication and they just can't afford to get on it. Um so when when you I'm trying to put this in thing. When you had to let him go, tell me more about it. Did you go into a depression? Were you fighting yourself? Like, should I? Shouldn't I? He's my son. Did you have questions?
I went back and forth for a little bit, and I was even, I prayed about it. I cried about it. I had even blamed myself for a period of time, but then I had to realize that it's a choice. Everything is a choice. And when you make a decision that this is what you want to do, I have to be okay with that because it's not like we haven't talked about it. It's not like we haven't had to deal with this problem before. And if you make a decision that that's what you're still going to do, then I have to make a decision as a mother, because ultimately my goal is for you to learn your lesson. It's not for me to keep what's the word when you my mind went blank, but basically you kind of hold them, um you don't give them the tough love. You kind of just allow them to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and at no point do they get an understanding. And so that was for me. I'd rather you hurt a little now, and you learn the lesson, then me allow you keep enabling you. That's the word I want to use. And keep enabling you, and then down the line it's worse.
Was Is he your oldest?
He is the oldest boy.
Oh, he's the oldest boy. Yeah. So
Hmm.
did you see any red flags when he was younger?
I did.
You
I
did.
actually I could tell you from about age 5 that he had some issues. Um and listening to people at that point in time, oh, he doesn't need to be on medicine. Medicine is not for us. I kind of pushed it a little longer than I should have. Um, but I would say maybe probably about 6 months I battled with that. Like maybe I could have started him on medicine like 6 months sooner, but because of listening to other people, just kind of saying, man, when we growing up, our families didn't talk about taking medication. They didn't believe in that mental health stuff. It was like a big deal in our community, and so
You're
I
right.
really kind of pushed it like for about 6 months. And then I said, you know what? Something is wrong. This is not going to work. His brain does not, the chemical makeup of his brain is not working properly. Let me go and talk to the doctor. Then I even did a second opinion. And when they all were saying the same thing, I was like, okay, Rochelle, you can't. You have to operate in your clinical brain and not in the mom brain. It's time for you to do something. So that's what I
Mhm.
did.
Okay, can you give the audience things that you noticed that he was doing when he was younger?
Uh, Everything he was really, it was more like a defiance, and they actually he had multiple diagnoses, but one of them was oppositional defiance disorder. So like everything we would try to tell him to do, it was like he would buck it. I mean, and I was like, this is impossible for us to keep having to tell you the same stuff and you still doing things your way. And I really didn't understand about oppositional defiance disorder until got to go to the doctor, and they were like, okay, this is what he's dealing with. He has ADHD, he has oppositional defiance disorder, he's bipolar. And so it was just like his moods would be up one minute, down the next. Um I mean, we could be in the middle of a conversation, he's smiling happy, then the next minute he's just a whole different person. And I'm like, wait a minute, what am I missing? Did I just miss something? Um, so he had that, and then besides his emotions being all over the place, defying everything, um, it was like he would be talking to him, but it was like it didn't really register to him. And then even sometimes I would notice he would be talking to himself, and I'm saying something. Well, who are you talking to? Like, what are And it would almost be like he would be talking to a person in the room, and I'm like, ain't nobody in here. Who is he talking? I come in there and I'm like, who are you talking to? Oh, nobody. And I'm like, okay. So those are kind of signs that I knew like something was really going on with him.
Even when he went to school, it was the same thing.
When he went to school, he was getting in trouble every day, almost every single day. I mean, it was nonstop. I literally was getting phone calls every day, just about, and it was so bad. At one point, I was like, "Okay, Lord, what is going on? This is just too much." But once they got him on medication, he was a different person. So I knew, I was like, "Oh, this is a chemical imbalance. This is exactly what this is," and but it was just the struggle of finding the right medication. And then as he got older, once he had the option to decide whether he wanted to take medicine or not, everything changed. Because once you get to a certain age, you can tell them, you can encourage them, but if they don't do it, what can you do?
Right.
You're grown, but I knew you might can do it, but you won't be here. And if you don't want to comply, you just won't be here and do it.
Mhm. Okay, I really want to know about the feeling of, because like we talked about grief,
Hmm.
because for me, I went through a grief for 3 months,
Hmm.
and it hurt, but
Yeah.
I had to do it. I had to do it because like she was making her problems my problems.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah. And I couldn't, like, I would look at the phone when her name pop up, like, oh boy, what does she want? Or what does she need? But as a
mhm,
mother, you want to help them, but I had to love myself. So can
Mhm.
you tell me a little bit what you've been through?
Initially, I grieved. I really had a lot of grief because I blamed myself.
Mhm.
I was wondering, like maybe the type of parent I wasn't the right type of parent. Um, I went through a whole bunch of different emotions because I was thinking like maybe if I would have did this different, things would have turned out different. And even having to say, I'm thinking in my mind like, okay, if I let him go, what's gonna happen if he's out on the street, or what is he gonna get it, and so I had to come to the realization and that there's nothing that I could have done different as a parent. I mean, I was there, I supported him, I did everything that I could. I can't take the blame because he chooses to make the decisions that he makes. I can't take the blame because he doesn't want to take the medication. You know, um, I had to be okay with the decision. And I cried. I had my period where I went through a crying phase. I had a period where why me? Why, but then I really said, okay, if this is your child before he was mine, so I'm going to allow you to do what you do, God. Only you can do. I can't control him. I can't keep letting his problems be my problems. I can't keep being the rescue person. And I also understood, like you did, once he left, when every time I see the phone, I'm like, okay, is he in trouble? What does he need? Does he want some money? Is it and so that was something that I really had to come to terms with. Like, hey, I don't want to be when I'm looking at my phone and saying, no, I don't really want to talk to him because I don't want to deal with this today. And because that's hurtful. That's hurtful in itself, knowing that you this is your child and you saying, oh
Right.
no, no, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him today. I don't want to deal with that drama. And so understanding that you have to put yourself first. It's okay. It's just like they always talk about on the plane. If you need oxygen, you have to put the oxygen on you first, so that way you can do oxygen for somebody else. If you allow your child to completely take where you have nothing left, then you're not beneficial to yourself, and you definitely couldn't be beneficial to anybody else.
Hmm. No, you're right. Um, how did that affect the other kids in the house?
When it first was happening, they really was not understanding. Um, and they were kind of sad and all of that stuff. And until, I had to be very transparent and had to have the conversation because I've always been one of those. We've always been parents that we're gonna talk you through everything. We don't try to hide stuff from our kids. We never have. And so the conversation was set in place. Hey, this is why this has to happen. I know that it doesn't feel good to you right now, but the ultimate goal is for him to be better, and he can't be better if we don't give him the help that he needs. And part of that is knowing I got to let you go.
Mm. So you are an insurance agent, a grief
Mhm.
coach. So tell me, how did you get into that?
So I became a grief coach because I lost my father suddenly
Mm.
in March of 2024. He actually had got diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic and liver cancer February the 16th, and March the 10th he died. And so as I was navigating through that space with him, I had walked people through the death process, and I can do it with my eyes closed because by profession, I'm a hospice nurse. And so that's what I was doing. But with him, it was a whole different thing because not now I'm not operating in a professional realm. I'm operating in a daughter realm. And so as I was navigating in that space, it was like I was being called into like people were calling me, "Hey, I'm trying to grieve my father," and I'm having people call me saying, "Hey, somebody told me to reach out to you." my dad just passed, or my uncle. They were dealing with a lot of different losses. People were, and they were calling me, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to grieve my own daddy. I don't want to be helping them. I
Right.
mean, I was, and so it was like I didn't have a chance to sit in the grief, because as I was, like I said, as I was grieving, God still had people calling me. It was like I still was having to be a ministry. I still was having to serve other people. And so after I walked through that process with my dad, I was like, you know what? I need to be able to help people, and people automatically assume like, hey, it's always death, but people were calling me not just because they lost a loved one. Some of them had lost themselves, some of them had lost a job, some of them had lost relationships, and I'm like, had to figure out, and as I got to studying grief, I learned, okay, there's many different types of grief. There's
Mhm.
different timelines with grief. And so that's how I got into that. And as far as the insurance, my insurance is two part. My mom is an insurance agent, so she had tried to get me to do it for a long time. And I was like, I don't want to do no life insurance. I ain't trying to do that. But what I realized with my father, with him having his affairs in order, it made the biggest difference, because I wasn't trying to grieve and figure out how to pay. And I had so many people around me that were doing GoFundMe's, whatever, and it's not knocking anybody, but people's prioritize things differently, and it helped me to understand that life insurance is not just about making sure this is done, is making sure that your family can grieve in peace and not have to worry about how they're going to do things. I always say, that is their love letter to you, making sure that they have their affairs in order, not just with life insurance, but also having their wishes known. Who wants to try to go through a whole thing and figure out, okay, well, what did you want me to do? What do you want to wear? What do you want me to keep doing it? And so those things, him having everything in place, made me realize these are things that are important. This is what I need to be doing to help people, so that we can stop the GoFundMe's, the bake sales, all this extra stuff, and we're able to live, because we know that we've already handled all of these other things.
Hmm. So, yesterday was a big day for you.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Oh man. So
Hmm.
I had been tasked with, I was supposed to start a podcast 2 years ago, and I ran from it because I kept saying, "Who wants to hear it?" So many people are doing podcasts already. I'm not equipped for this. I like to be behind the scenes. I really don't need to be talking to anybody. I made like a million excuses. I was my own inner me. I say my enemy, but my enemy. And so I finally launched the podcast yesterday. Yesterday was the official launch date. And so I got out of
Congratulations.
my way. Thank you. I got out of my way and went ahead and done it. So I feel better now that I've done it. And I know that in time, the pull on my heart, and I know that I was being called to do that. I know eventually it'll fall into the right people's hands at the right time. But it was just the obedience part for me, being able to finally do what I know I was being called to do.
Okay, what is it called?
From the eyes of a daddy's girl. And it is what my saying is, and it's from the daughter's perspective. But what I always say is, it's more than a podcast; it's a movement. And so it is going to be able to help women that are navigating through grief and loss, but also to help them to leave a legacy, to be able to be the type of woman that God has called them to be, or the type of parent that they should be, just navigating through they're leaving the proper legacy for their family, helping people even in marriage and relationships. It's a whole lot in store for from the eyes of a daddy's girl going forward. So, but it's my ultimate goal is to be able to walk people through some of the most difficult moments that they have experienced or will experience, and how to turn the negative part of that into a positive and see how you can use what you've experienced to be able to help somebody else on the pathway.
Yes. Well, I'm going to be on your podcast, so I'm excited for
Yes,
that. And
me too.
also, where can we listen to it?
It is on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it is on Apple Music, it is on um, Riverside, and it is on I think it's Buzzsprout. It's quite a few places you can find it. I'll have to try to drop I can't even remember. It's so I was looking at that yesterday. I was like, man, they really own all these different platforms. So it kind of threw me for a loop. So I can't tell you all of them, but it's about I want to say it's about six platforms it's on right now. But it's on YouTube also.
And what's the name on YouTube?
From the eyes on the oh goodness. It is. I have to actually drop that. I'm gonna have to look and tell you because my son didn't put. I mean, it says from the eyes of a daddy's girl, but it's a at daughter 70. Something, my son set that up, so so I can't even tell you what the ad is. I'm sorry, but I think it's
No,
like
but
at daughter.
at Twitter. Okay, because I'm gonna
I think
tag this
okay. Yeah,
video.
I'm
And so,
I will definitely I'm gonna have to send it to I think it says at pot. I'll have to tell you. I'm
oh,
sorry, but because
it's
like I
okay.
say, he set that up. But I want to say,
So I asked all my guests, what is different about you today?
I would say the lessons that I've learned from my parenting, from marriage, from grief, it has helped to make me more compassionate, it has given me a more sensitive spirit. I can I know how to meet people where they are. And that was something that I couldn't always do. Now I know that everybody's not going to grieve at the same time. Everybody's not going to be where they are at the same time. So being able to have that compassion for them to say, "Hey, it's okay," because I've been there, and what it looked like for me, it may not look like for you. So I think it's definitely helped me to become a better person, definitely more compassionate, more understanding, but more able to meet people where they are than I was before.
Nice. Well, Rochelle, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure. I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to coming on your podcast. And
Yes. Real soon.
yes. And everyone, I am going to put your YouTube channel in the description, and so people can follow and listen. I wish you many blessings on your podcast. You're gonna do well. You were so nervous.
Thank
It
you.
was so funny.
I know. And you were such a good encourager for me. I appreciate that because it
Of,
really with us being our own enemy, we kind of talk ourselves out of stuff. So I definitely appreciate you cheering me on. That really made a big difference for me.
of course, of course. Everyone, please like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Again, Rochelle, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Also, and this is for the women, if you're looking for a sisterhood, a community, you want to feel inspired, empowered, join the Royal Rooted Rising on Facebook. We will love to have you. Did you join the group?
Yeah, I did. I did.
You did? Yeah. You know what? I do want you to be a guest on there.
Okay. You just tell me
So,
when.
okay. Again, Royal Rooted and Rising on Facebook. Join the community. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome.